Right, this is a letter from Miles Gilbert. He's a Norwegian doctor. In Norway, he's the professor and head of the Clinic of Emergency Medicine, University Hospital, North Norway. This was written in the morning hours of Friday, July 18th. That's okay.
You okay?
Yeah, I think I'll get it. Last night was extreme. The ground invasion of Gaza resulted in scores and carloads with maimed, torn apart, bleeding, shivering, dying, all sorts of injured Palestinians, all ages, all civilians, all innocent. The heroes in ambulances and in all of Gaza's hospitals are working 12, 24-hour shifts, gray from fatigue and inhuman workloads, without payment at all in Shifa for the last 4 months. They care, triage, try to understand the incomprehensible chaos of bodies, sizes, limbs, walking, not walking, breathing, not breathing, bleeding, not bleeding, humans. Now, once more treated like animals by the most moral army in the world. My respect for the wounded is endless in their continued determination in the midst of pain, agony, and shock. My admiration for the staff and volunteers is endless. My closeness to the Palestinians gives me strength. Although in glimpses, I just want to scream. Hold someone tight, cry, smell the skin and hair of the warm child covered in blood. Protect ourselves in an endless embrace, but we cannot afford that, nor can they. Ash-gray faces. Oh no, not one more load of tens of maimed and bleeding. We still have lakes of blood on the floor in the ER, piles of dripping, blood-soaked bandages to clear out. Oh, the cleaners everywhere, slowly shoveling the blood and discarded tissues, hair, clothes, cannulas, the leftovers from death, all taken away to be prepared again, to be repeated all over. More than 100 cases came to Shifa last 24 hours, enough for a large, well-trained hospital with everything. But here, almost nothing. No electricity, water, disposables, drugs, OR tables, instruments, monitors, all rusted and is taken from museums of yesterday hospitals. But they do not complain, these heroes. They get on with it, like warriors, head on, enormous restitute. As I write these words to you, alone on a bed, my tears flow. The warm but useless tears of pain and grief, of anger and fear. This is not happening. And then, just now, the orchestra of the Israeli war machine starts its gruesome symphony again. Just now, salvos of military from the Navy boats down on the shores, the roaring F-16s, the sickening drones, and the cluttering Apaches. So much made and paid by the U.S. Mr. Obama, do you have a heart? I invite you, spend one night, just one night with us in Shifa, disguised as a cleaner. Maybe, I am convinced, 100% it would change history. Nobody with a heart and power could ever walk away from a night in Shifa without being determined to end the slaughter of the Palestinian people. But the heartless and merciless have done their calculations and planned another onslaught on Gaza. The rivers of blood will keep running this coming night. I can hear they have tuned their instruments for death. Please, do what you can. This cannot continue. Mads, Gaza, occupied Palestine.
We shall live in peace. We shall live in peace. We shall live in peace someday.
I'm sad as a Canadian that our government and all the political parties in Canada are silent or supportive of the crime that is being committed. If you ask any one of them, as I have, what do you think we should be doing about the crime in Gaza, you get no answer. They ignore you because they have no decent answer. I used to be a member of the NDP, but I've learned that the NDP is a group of cowards with respect to human rights. So if you look at the Conservatives, of course, they're even worse. They're so bad it's impossible to say human rights and conservatives in the same sentence. Then there's the Liberals who are keeping very quiet, very quiet. They don't want to get into any trouble and they don't want to do anything to end this atrocity. So then we have Elizabeth May, and I won't go into the problems that Elizabeth has with her statements, which she claimed were not true, and then were recorded by the Jewish Times, and got her in trouble saying Israel is the only democracy in the Middle East. So she responds with nothing when I ask her what she thinks should be done about this atrocity. So we are the people, those of us who are here standing up for peace and justice and human rights, we are the Canadians who must work for change, who must always keep working, never stop. Don't be dismayed by the numbers of us so far. Just keep going. We will never, must never stop fighting for truth and justice. Thank you.
I feel that as a Jew, it is important for Jews to speak out against what is happening in Israel and Palestine. We, as Jews, we have an obligation. We grew up with the idea that social justice, tikkun, is a Jewish idea, and that's why I'm standing before you today. So all I have, really one sentence for all of you. I am a Jew, and I want Israel to stop killing civilians in Gaza. There will be no peace in the region unless Israel ends its occupation. Thank you.
We are not afraid.
We are not afraid. We are not afraid. We are not afraid today.